We met at a bar restaurant, and he was amazing. He definitely kind of swept me off my feet that initial meeting, even, and the relationship, the beginning of the relationship, definitely continued that way. It evolved very quickly, and he made me feel more special than any relationship that I'd ever been in. The warning signs are definitely the hindsight's 2020. The thinking that he wanted to be with me all the time, I now realize was very much control and manipulation. He controlled and monopolized my time, and it was okay for him to go away, so to speak, of the relationship, for him to go spend time with his friends or family, but it wasn't okay for me to do that. He would make plans with me and then cancel them last minute. The pedestal that he put me on was definitely beautiful and shiny and intricate, but that always came after an event, after a fight, after an argument, after, he didn't show up for something that we had planned. So looking back, definitely a lot of controlling, manipulative behaviors that in the relationship, in the beginning of the relationship, I saw as love, care, I only want to be with you type of behaviors. And then once we got married, that's when the violence came out. The first event was in December of 2012. It was a heated argument, and he actually headbutted me and gave me my first black eye. I called it the honeymoon stage. After an episode or an event, he would come back to me crying, saying that this was his fault. He doesn't know what's wrong with him. He needs to get help. And we would go into amazing relationship status, where he was very attentive to me, to my needs, very apologetic, very much saying the right things. What I failed to see in that time, too, though, was the follow-through for him. Whenever I would ask him about counseling or, therapy, anything like that, he would, it's on my schedule, or I've called a few, but I haven't decided which one I want to go to, which the hindsight was those were all just lies. But that always kept me hanging on for especially after we got married, is this the for better and for worse piece of our vows? Is this as bad as it's going to get? He's acknowledging it. So that was the worst part. There's no way it can get worse than this. And he always did just enough to keep me hanging on and keeping me convinced that the last one was the last one, but it never was. The deciding factor for me to leave was the night that he came home in October 2014, and he was extremely intoxicated and, come to find out, on a lot of narcotics and illegal drugs and substances. And he proceeded to physically and sexually assault me for 3 hours before he passed out, and I was able to get out of the house, run to a neighbor's, and call 911. So at that point, with the court system intervening with the protection order, with him having to vacate the home, and me going through all the medical procedures that I had to go through following the incident, and then the court procedures of his charges, that made it a lot easier for me to leave and have that separation, because it was kind of forced on me. But I did choose to abide by it because he almost took my life that night, and each incident was worse leading up to this one. So I knew if I ever gave him the opportunity to do this to me again, that I wouldn't survive. Abuse in general tends to be a generational cycle. My dad did it to me, my mom did it to me, so this is what I expect and what I know. And until you know different, you can't change that. So being able to shed light on the fact that there is help for this and you can change the cycle is phenomenal. Had he have had the help that he needed, had I even had the help into my adulthood from being a victim of physical abuse from my father as a child, I don't think I would have made some of the decisions that I made as an adult and had some of the relationships that I had. And I hope that he would have made the same, had he have had the help, he would have made the same choices as well. I think it kind of goes down to the do unto others as you would have do unto them. If you don't want to be abused physically, mentally, or emotionally, don't do it to anyone else. And also, is this the way you want your mother, brother, sister, daughter, whoever, family member, or somebody that's close to you treated? And if you wouldn't be okay with somebody treating them that way, everybody is one of those things. So stopping it at the beginning is a must if we're going to change society and the way we view this and accept it and where we are with it. There is help. It doesn't have to be like this. We don't have to have perpetrators. We don't have to have victims. So if you're recognizing this in yourself or in somebody that you know, find the resources to help them and end these cycles of abuse.